So I'm joined here today by Gigi Bryant, who I know through her work on the Austin Community College Board. I just thought, in this Woman to Woman series that we're doing, you were one of the first people who popped into my mind that I think it'd be great for some of the other young women out there to learn a little bit about your journey where you are now. So I know you're technically retired.
I am technically retired from working, never volunteering though, always volunteering.
That's right. So will you tell us a little bit about the advocacy and everything that you're doing right now currently in your life?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. This is fun.
Of course.
Yes, I appreciate it. And thank you for thinking of me. So right now, I have 3 pillars that I focus on, and it's education, children in the foster care system, and drug and alcohol rehabilitation issues. And I served on the board of Austin Recovery for a very long time. In fact, I was on the board when we built the building out in South Congress for the men to stay in. Wow. And I feel that those are the 3 things that really affect the family and what the family is about. And they can either keep the family together if they're implemented correctly, or they can break the family apart.
So you do have a big focus on family.
I do. That's important.
Are you comfortable talking about that?
My focus on family, of course. Which I do have.
Just talk a little bit about, you have how many grandkids now?
I have 6 grandchildren and 5 children. So we have our children together as a family, and so it's 5 of them. So every opportunity we get, we try to get together with them and do stuff with the grandkids. We get the grandkids about 4 times a year, which they enjoy, the grandkids. But we've been doing that since they were born, because my focus on family is that family knows each other. And so I wanted the cousins to get to know each other very well. So we started keeping them, starting with our twin granddaughters. And then the boys came and then it was friends that, can we bring the kids over? If you're going to do that. And so just making sure that they know each other, love each other. And now they contact each other. Like they know each other's birthdays, because that was part of our game. We get prizes if you knew each other's birthdays.
You make everything into a game.
Hey, you only go once.
That's one of the things I love.
Thank you. I love to laugh, so you know.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your life to get where you are now? And how did you stay motivated during your setbacks?
Wow, that is a big question.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good question because it kind of grounds everyone. My big challenges in life is that I grew up in the foster care system. And the system was broken then in 1964, and it's broken today in 2024. You have some really good people working to get things done. It's just not the kind of system that comes together for children. And everyone will say over and over again, it's broken, the children are broken, the system is broken, the children will never go anywhere, there'll never be anything. And I heard a lot of that growing up. And I had, luckily, my great-grandmother who convinced me that as long as I prayed and stayed focused and I was kind, which I tried to be sometimes, that I wasn't then, that things would work out. Just keep focusing, keep praying. And when I would tell her the things that were happening to me, when I'd go to visit with her a couple of times, she was devastated, but there wasn't anything she could do with the system. Mm-hmm. And we were moved around so much. Maybe 20 times, different houses, different this. Because we were low impact kids. We didn't bring a lot of money because we didn't have special needs. We didn't have, a lot of the medications that were being taken, didn't have any of that. So when, someone would come in with a higher value, we would be moved on. So we moved around a lot. And I just decided that if I can make it through that, then I could make it through anything. But I had to figure out how I was going to do it. Was I going to do it broken, or was I going to do it in repair? And children shouldn't have to figure that out, right? But I had to figure it out. And I came up with things that were probably more self-protect than I needed and more inquisitive than I needed to be. And I still have those qualities. I'm self-protected and I'm inquisitive. And so I wanted to know that if I could overcome these things and mentor, and I always mentor. I always read a lot, because when you're quiet and reading, nobody really bothers you, especially if you're reading the Bible. People don't bother you. It's just kind of like, I don't know what she's doing over there. Just kind of leave her to herself, maybe Jesus will help her, maybe he won't, I don't know. So it was more of just figuring it out. And then I became a tutor. I tutored the kids at home, because I was telling you, you gotta learn something, or they're gonna be mean to you. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. So I was always like pushing people to do things, and probably didn't have the energy to drive myself, but I was constantly pushing. And so when I grew up, I thought the first thing that's going to be most important to me in life is family. The second thing is going to be education. And I went from the time I graduated from high school all the way through to get my undergraduate degree. I just wouldn't stop. If I had a challenge in my life, I would stop, maybe take a class, but I wouldn't stop, because I just felt that I couldn't. So I finished and I kept going, and I promoted my kids to do the same thing. You have to be your advocate, but you have to know what drives you.
We were just talking about pushing yourself and helping others to achieve. And so I'm curious, what are some of the things that you're most proud of that you've achieved or accomplished in your life?
Well, I am very proud of my family. I am very proud of the relationships that I have. I am content in my faith, and I'm just proud that I'm not bitter, and that I am healthy, and that I'm not afraid to make friends, and I'm not afraid to be open, because there was a time when I wasn't. Very tight, very tight. And then
Protecting.
Yeah, self-protecting. Right. And I'm just very proud of the fact that I have been able to not have those things become a permanent part of who I am. Because I don't believe that I meet people by accident, and I don't believe that things happen by accident. I think that everything has a purpose in your life. It's just how present are you to actually notice what that purpose is.
That's awesome. I think that my experience with you also is one of a leader. And I'm curious what you believe a good leader looks like, and what qualities in a person makes them a good leader.
I think to be a good leader, you have to be a servant. You have to be willing to move some chairs as you are willing to sit at the head of the table. You have to be willing to mentor and guide. And then you have to be willing to accept the mistakes that you make and see if you can grow from them. And then as a leader, you have to be willing to lose some things.
Legacy is something that gets attached to family. It gets attached to your career. It gets attached to your advocacy. So I'm very curious what type of legacy you would like to leave behind.
I want to leave a legacy behind with my family. The importance of financial stewardship. That you don't have to spend everything that you acquire, and you don't have to take it all with you. You can't. So be philanthropic in your giving. Focus your giving, but give. Make sure that you give what you have, whether it's time, talent, or resources. You need to give, and you need to give without thinking you're going to get something back, because you may not even see down the road what the fruits of that are. But you still need to be able to give. I want to leave a legacy in the world where somebody will see something and it reminds them of a kindness or an action that they can take part in. I think that action is important in all of our thinking. And so I want to leave that behind. And I want to leave behind the fact where people will think that I did something to make the world better.
So I want to know what your walk-off and walk-on song would be if you could choose any song.
Is there a song called Let's Hear It for the Girls?
Yes, let's hear it.
I was going to hear Let's Hear It for the Boys, but is it?
Let's Hear It for the Boys.
I want to change it. That's the song.
Let's Hear It for the Girls.
I want to change to Let's Hear It for the Girls.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you for doing this. I know you're really busy and you have a lot going on. And I just so much appreciate you, and I always appreciate the time that you're willing to share with me. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And I'm so honored that you even asked me to come down. This was so fun.
Good. I'm glad this will be a standing thing for us moving forward.
Let's do it.
Every March.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All
Thank
right.
you.